In the upcoming fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford, I see a couple of things that people are overlooking. Terrence Crawford, his boxing is not really fundamentally sound. When he fought in this southpaw stance against Madrimov, Madrimov had a lot of success with the right hand, and Madrimov is nowhere near as good or as skilled as Canelo Alvarez. Madrimov forced him to change stances. Moreover, Crawford knew the fight was close, but he really wasn't trying to push for the knockout, which to me indicates that he respected Madrimov's ability to hurt him. Plus, he had been hurt in his fight with Mean Machine. He got hurt really hard with that punch, and I think that's on the back of his mind because he got rocked hard, and he hugged Mean Machine, and the referee didn't really count that as a knockdown, but should have. It was, in my opinion, a little dishonest. Now, though Crawford did finish Mean Machine, a lot of questions arose there because in that fight, Crawford was rehydrating to about 170 plus pounds. Mean Machine was much smaller, and Mean Machine was nowhere near being in the top 20 pound for pound list, and he gave Crawford a lot of trouble. So I want to focus on the fact that Crawford would rehydrate up to 170 pounds while wearing smaller gloves as a welterweight. And then he moves up to 154 with bigger gloves, and he's slightly bigger than Madrimov. And what do we see? We see that there was not one moment where Crawford could have hurt Madrimov. So if we believe that Crawford is not going to gain any weight for his fight with Canelo, it stands to reason that Crawford will not be able to hurt Canelo at all. He might be able to land a series of punches because of his reach. He might be able to bruise Canelo, but he's not going to rock Canelo because Crawford does not hit anywhere near the level of Triple G. And when Canelo fought Triple G, and he's fought a bunch of bigger men, they never hurt him. So I expect this fight to go this way. Canelo is going to fight him. He's going to land on the body. He's going to counter him, land some good shots. And after landing those shots, Crawford's going to feel his power. Crawford's going to try to get on the back foot. He's going to try changing stances back and forth. And Canelo's going to have an answer for those transitions. He's going to hurt him. And Crawford is going to get desperate. He's going to have to make his decision if he's going to go out on his shield or just try not to get knocked out. I think he's going to opt for trying not to get knocked out. Because when he fought Madrimov and that fight was close, he didn't turn up the pressure. He didn't turn up his output, his aggression, because I don't think he believed he could do that successfully against him. He didn't have the weight advantage that he traditionally had against other people. So, in my opinion, Canelo is going to hurt Crawford, possibly finish him somewhere after the middle of the fight, like the 7th, 8th, and 9th round. If this fight goes 12 rounds, I still don't see Crawford winning. I see Crawford retreating, doing the Tom and Jerry crap that they say is a joke. And I don't see the judges giving him rounds for doing that. After the fight, I imagine that Crawford will probably retire or maybe have one more fight. And that's it for him. He is 37, going to technically be 38 a couple days after the fight. And that is an age in which most fighters retire. He will not be able, I think after this fight, he will probably drop down to a 154 or 160 if he does fight again. Because at 168, you have fighters that are taller than him with better reach than him. And he won't have that reach advantage, and he'll look vulnerable. It kind of reminds me of Celestino Caballero, who was dominating so many fighters, and he moves up in weight class, and fighters were his size with his reach, and he looked horrible. At the lower weight, he was dominating people because of the reach advantage. I don't see Crawford having that if he continues to campaign at 168. I don't think he could beat a fighter like Caleb Plant or Billy Joe Saunders if Billy Joe was still fighting. I don't think he could beat them. I think they're better fighters than him, and I think that Canelo knows that too. Crawford has been a beneficiary of good matchmaking, as his resume is devoid of any quality pound for pound names. He fought Spence, who was allegedly injured and suffered a rib injury, and according to neurologists who watched the video of the fight, his eye winking movement was indicative of brain trauma. Um, so the thing is that Crawford, when he was asked by Canelo who his elite opponents were, didn't even bother to mention Spence. He, in fact, offered the names Ricky Burns and Postal. None of those two fighters are or were ever close to being elite. So, like I said, I expect Canelo to win by knockout in the mid to late rounds, and I don't expect Crawford to get a decision. It's a possibility, but I don't expect it.